So friends, I welcome you to this webinar called Analyze Yourself. This topic is very important because right from when we get up in the morning till we go to bed, if you analyze the way the activities are going, it is going with absolute speed. Okay. Probably in the morning, around half an hour or 40 minutes, you have control. And again, you will get back the control on yourself, on your schedule, maybe towards night. So the day is progressing very fast and we are working. And where are we going? What is that we are doing? And are we going on the right track? That is the whole theme of this session. Because friends, if you see, we're all in, some people are in 20s, some people are in 30s, some people are in 40s, right? Now, what happens is suddenly you end up in the age group of 50. Okay. Then if you look back, at least 95% of the people, they see themselves in the feeling of loss, in the feeling of despair, in the feeling of some kind of losingness. At least 90 to 95% people. We don't want to be those people. Okay. See, when you start your life till 25 and 30 years, the life will go in a determined way, because you keep aiming for examination and then job and then do some personal achievements. So you try to aim, and this is as part of a structured life phase or life cycle. It is these 30s, it is these 40s, especially the 40s, that will actually derail you, that will test you, right? Every element of you will get tested in the age of 40s. I want to tell you why. Because in 30s, I used to think, right? Hey, those things won't happen with me. Okay. And our family is a good family, our company is a very good company, and our friends are very good. So those kind of feelings used to be there. But when you come to the age of 40s, right, all tests will be done. Okay. We are no exception. If you go in, as per Hindu Purana, even the Ram and Hanuman, they got into dispute on the issue of Lavakusa, right? So basically the Lavakusas, they basically they take the horse, and they take the horse into control, and Rama was performing the yajna, and so he has the mandate to capture all the earth that the horse was crossing through. But then the Lavakusas, the small boys, captures that. So in that process, Rama is determined to fight with whomever who opposes the horse. On the other end, it is small boys like Lavakusas. And Lord Hanuman, he comes to the rescue of those Lavakusas. And ultimately, a fight happens between Lord Rama and Lord Hanuman. And we all know, as per Hindu Purana, for Lord Hanuman, he means Ram like anything. Ram is in his heart. But for that Lord Hanuman, it was imperative to fight with Rama, right? When the Maya can do that kind of situation between those two characters in Ramayana epic, who are we? We're very simple persons, right? Anything can happen to us. Every aspect of us will be analyzed, tested. And the point is, we need to have slow thinking, right? The slow thinking means we need to really think slow. We need to really process slow. For that, we need to analyze ourselves. Where are we going? Where are we going, my friends? Am I going in the direction that I want to go? So that is how this topic is of paramount importance. Analyze yourself. And as part of this particular session, we're going to cover 4 simple steps that will help us achieve this goal of analyzing yourself. Okay, so with this, let's get into the topic here. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Yeah. So friends, so in this particular session, we will learn 4 simple steps that will help us gain better insights into the person who we really are inside. Okay, so as Socrates said, an examined life, an unexamined life, my friends, an unexamined life is not worth living. So let's get into this rhythm. So friends, the first thing that I wanted to tell to each of you, that each of us are special. Okay, see friends, I come across people who, certain people celebrate birthday, certain people do not celebrate their birthday. So even if I wish those people who don't want to be celebrated, they'll be angry. But I have understood deep in their heart, they value their birthday. You ask yourself, my friends, isn't it your birthday is special to you? Answer is yes. This life is very important for us, friends. Each of us has a deep need for a meaning and purpose in this life. The point is, we need to identify what is that meaning? Am I going towards that? The first thing that, friends, I want to ask you is, all of us are having core values at our heart. Okay, these values are imparted to us either by the culture that we are going through, or the culture that we are coming from, or the influential people in our lives, right? So like our parents, our teachers, our significant characters in our life that have influenced us, and certain other aspects based on which we will form core values. So each of us, right, we have core values, and based on those core values, okay, there was an internal computer program already done where it has set certain objectives. Based on those objectives only, probably you are in this job today, somebody is in military, somebody is a sports person, somebody is some other profession. So already we got into the path of fulfilling those objectives which are derived from our core values. But the point is, my friends, in the journey of fulfilling the objectives, what is happening is, what we're doing is not in conjunction, in congruence with what our objectives and our core values are. Let me put it in a very straight and simple way. Most of us are doing some things which are not in congruence with our core values. And that is why we are stressed, right? We are stressed because we are working on something that we are mandated to do. We are working on something that we don't find a meaning of our life and purpose in it. We're working on something that, we really don't enjoy. And when you do that, you are stressed. So there's a disconnect between your core values and what you're doing. When there's a disconnect, you feel stressed. When it continues, it basically starts reflecting on your heart, on your head, on your body, on your relations, on your work, on your productivity, on the outcome of your work. And ultimately, it is like a stress leading to further stress, leading to isolation, alienation. So a lot of things will get cropped up. Why? Because what we do is not in congruence with our core values. For example, if you think that you're working towards fulfilling your core values or the objectives derived from your core values, you will never get stressed. See, there are certain film directors, I don't want to name them. They say they work 3 days continuously. And some journalists ask them, are you stressed because you've been working in long schedules? He said, no, I'm enjoying, because I'm working what I'm liking. So the point is, if you think you're stressed, that means you are basically not connected. How your day-to-day work is happening, that is not connected to your core values or objectives. So then it's very important to understand what are our core values. Do we know? Did we ever make an attempt to understand what are our core values and what are our core objectives? See, friends, these core values we never written, we never know. These are all coming as an internal program done already inside the chip that we have inside. So it is better we explore what are those values that we are coming from. First of all, what are the values? There is a point that we have to analyze our values, right? Your values are actually influenced by the education that you're coming from, the physical appearance that you actually represent, your materialism. That certain people are very spiritual, some people are materialistic, some people have certain thought process about the society and this life, and they think they're right toward in their own thought process. Certain people are coming from upper class, upper economy class. Some people are coming from medium economy class. Some people are coming from low economy class. So those things have an impact on us, and based on that, our needs, our motives will get influenced, and based on that, our learnings will be there, and our learnings is what is what we look at. Through our learnings we look this world, right? And we have our own experiences, right? So we will be influenced with our own experiences, and there will be certain people who can easily influence us. For example, your parents can influence you, your wife can influence you, your husband can influence you, your core friends can influence you, or certain your teachers can influence you. There are certain influencers or opinion leaders who actually can influence how to perceive this life, and in the process you actually formulate certain assumptions, right? And then you derive certain inferences based upon your experiences, and it's a continuous process. So your values, basically your core values, is a function of your education, your physical appearance, your materialism. That means how much degree you relate to spirituality, or do you think is fully materialistic world, what the economic class you belong from, okay? What are your experiences, what are your influences? And friends, and more importantly, as an individual, or as a family member, or a friend circle, or a social class, or a culture, to which reference group you belong to, it also matters a lot. There are two groups out there. One group is a group that it can have major impact on your thought process, that is yourself and your family. And certain times your friend circle can have a moderate influence on us. Similarly, the social class you belong to can have an impact in terms of formulating your opinions, learnings, inferences, and core values. And the culture that you're coming from is also coming. It also has an impact on how your core values are formed, right? So let me tell you, friends, let me first understand, because here it's as an individual, as a family group, as a friends, as a social class, and the culture. Let's understand the culture group, because each of the groups that you belong to, right, are you associated with. So maybe probably you feel proud to say that I belong to this family. You feel proud to say that I belong to this particular friends circle, or similarly you feel proud to belong to this social class. Okay, you feel proud to coming out from that culture that you're actually coming from, right? So all these things will have an influence on how your core values are formed, right? So based on this, your needs, your motives, your learnings, and your core values are all formed. So there is one outer circle called culture. Let us learn it in a higher way, right? So what is culture? Culture is learned. Culture is basically, friends, it is a evolving education through different generation that is coming to us, right? So for example, if I'm coming from Indian culture, then the earlier generations, how they led their life, what they valued the most, so they will have an impact on me. If I'm belonging to a specific region of India, and that has an impact on us. Similarly, if I'm belonging to some specific in a caste, right, so it has its own impact on me, right? So the culture is learned through. Culture is nothing but it is the continuous learnings of a special class of people, right? When we belong to that class, their continuous learning will influence our culture, and hence it influences our values. So what is a culture? Culture is a most proven education of proven habits that worked for previous generation, and this that is why our elders will ask us to follow these things to us. So culture is, it's a set of repeatedly proven habits for a specific group that we belong to. And this culture is learned through formal learning, where parents and influential leaders, they teach the children how to behave properly, right? Parents and influential elders or teachers, right? They teach. So they teach, like, this is how you have to behave, like the formal learning. Like the parents will tell like this, there are certain people, your grandparents will tell like this, your teachers will tell you like this. There is another thing called informal learning, like you learn from your parents, from your teachers, from your grandparents, from and from influential people in your childhood. Okay, there's other learning that you do is informal learning, where you want to imitate your parents, probably your teachers, your parents, your friends, or you may be attached to certain movies and film actors in action. You must have seen them. So basically you have seen them, how they behave at different situations, and probably you wanted to imitate them when such situation comes to you, right? This is called informal learning, right? For example, I'm telling you, you come across a situation wherein a difficult situation has come to a specific family, then you are a spectator there, and you observe how they are behaving to go through their personal difficulties, and then and unknowingly you capture those traits in your mind, and when you come across such kind of situation, you probably those things will come out of you, right? Informal learning, right? The next one is technical learning, where, like, for example, if you are if you are learning aeroplane, right? Now in aeroplane, there are specific instructions are given. You have to drive or pilot the aeroplane in such way only, right? It's a technical learning. Step 1, step 2, step 3, that is how you have to work. That is how you have to drive the aeroplane, right? While landing the aeroplane, or getting or taking off, so this certain series of steps, or in the air, if something happens, how to communicate, they go through step by step, like machine learning, right? So like the way, painting, singing, car driving, all those things, there's a technical learning will be there. We have to go through those steps in a step by step way, right? So culture is, it's imparting of knowledge, like people with a good mindset, like a good thought, like they want a good future of you, and with the good future, with the good intent to get a better future for you, your elders, your parents, your teachers, they will teach you how to behave, and you will also learn from certain characters informally, and then there are certain technical way, where a step by step way you will learn, and that is how you basically belong to a culture. And this culture has impact on the way you perceive the world, the way you like this world, likes, dislikes, and your core values are formed. So friends, what I'm telling here is, I was trying to focusing on values, right? So when I'm saying your core values, is if you're working in congruence with your core values, you'll be happy. If you're not working in congruence with your core values, you're not happy. Then the question comes, what are those values? So this is where we have covered your values are influenced by these attributes here, and your culture is learned through these aspects. The question is, what do you value most in life? Okay, now we understood how values are influenced. Okay, because these values are something that are understood but never defined. And it's difficult to define as well, right? And as you learn yourself, as you keep eyes inside of yourself, you start looking inside yourself. This is where you start learning yourself. But then, you will discover yourself. But okay, more or less you get certain idea about what your values are. But your life has a major influence on what do you value most in life, what do you really care about and stand for, what will you not stand for. See friends, I'm telling you, today we are all in private sector. Okay, there are certain sectors like teaching sector and military, sector, right? So I come across a scenario saying that, the military people are fighting at the border, okay, and border, and in some scenarios they are not paid much. The kind of sacrifices they are making, and certain scenarios, the amount of money they are paid on monthly basis, they are not in congruence, right? They're not in a correlation. But the point is, they really work for some other values. They wanted to save the country. They wanted to work for their team. They want to take proud of their group in the military. See, I want to tell you one thing. There was a story that goes like this, right? So a battalion of soldiers were fighting, and one day one of the soldiers got a letter wherein some unfortunate thing has happened in his family, and he wants to leave the squad now. So he wanted to ask for the leave, so he hesitates a lot, and he goes to the captain and said, Captain, I need leave now, I can't fight. Then captain says, we are in the war field, and you can't go at this point in time, but it is up to you how to decide. And this gentleman says, I have to leave. Then this captain says, look, each of us are suffering from one or the other personal problems. If you open up your personal problem, all people will open up their personal problem. If you want to leave, leave. But we are all fighting with a mission of saving this country. So this gentleman leaves to a certain distance, and again he comes back by getting influence, the motivation of the team. I think if the film name is Border, if I'm right? So basically they value the part of team fighting. They wanted to save the country. They value something else, right? It's not that they value only money. Like, what do you really care for? What do you really stand for? What will you not stand for? You need to be very clear. My friends, I want to let you know in my experience. Obviously, friends, I'm telling you, there are certain people who go beyond us in life, maybe in terms of positions, or so getting good positions in professional life, or personal life. In personal life, people will be happy. Some people are more happy compared to me, and some people are less happy compared to me. But then what is distinguishing, my friends? Clarity in thought, right? The people who are generally happy are very clear on their thought. They know what they really care and stand for, and they know what they do not stand for. The people who are actually mingling and worrying, these are the people who can't clearly define what I want. It's very important, my friend. Clarity in thoughts is what? Clarity in life. This is what I stand for. This is what I do not stand for. When you are like this, what happens is you invite those clearer friends to you in your life, and then slowly you unfold a different life for yourself. So friends, the point is, you will only feel happy, valuable, and worthwhile to the degree to which your day-to-day activities are in harmony with your values. That means if you are doing those things that are in relation with your core values, you'll feel happy. For example, today I'm telling you, I feel very happy to organize this session. Yes, like each of you, I also work, many hours a day. I'm also a busy professional. But then, to prepare for this session, and to impart this session, I feel happy. Why? Because I'm learning. Because sharing is learning. I'm learning, right? I'm learning, and by learning, I will get an opportunity to do things differently, right? So sharing of this knowledge is in congruence with my core values. So the amount of effort that I'm spending here does not stress me. In fact, it makes me motivated. Similarly, if I work those activities which are not in connection with my core values, I continue to struggle. I will have stress, tension, anxiety, frustration, both in life and work. Because friends, I'm telling you, when you are frustrated and stressed on work side, you'll also show the same on your children, on your wife, on your husband. And they won't, certain times they tolerate, certain times they don't tolerate. And what happens is they will, it's unfolding of uncomfortable situations happens. So at the end of the day, what you value most is what you need to understand first, so that you can take next steps. That clarity is needed. So what is your job? Your job is to determine what is your innermost values really are. What are my core values inside me, so that I can organize my life, so that I can have a living and working inconsistent with those values. See, friends, I'm telling you today, if you don't work for your goals, you will end up working for others' goals. I repeat, if you don't work for your goals, you end up working for others' goals. Now, the point is, you working is anyway there. Like, as long as we live, we struggle, and we work. That is where there. The point is, if you have clarity on your goal, right, then you work for your goal. So your job is to determine what are your innermost values are, and how can I organize my life so that I can live, work inconsistent with my values. See, friends, it's very important. There'll be situations in life wherein you will be questioned by your core and near and dear people. Okay, if you are white, they'll tell you black, you are black. You're white, but they'll tell you are black. There'll be situations wherein you have to believe in yourself and you have to pull it across. So you have to be very clear about the context, because in certain situations, only God and you know what is the reality. Only God and you know the kind of situation you're going through. The moment you're clear and truthful about what your values are, how a personality you are, then you'll get energy to take it side of whatever these uncomfortness or unnecessary comments and work towards progress. Right? Your job is to determine what are your innermost values are. Now, this is where I wanted to tell you guys, you got to analyze yourself. Analyze yourself. Analyze yourself, because you want to know your sweet inner self. Friends, your inner self has been cooperating with you since the day you got born. There are many examinations during academy session. It helped you to do night outs. There are many tests that you went through in your professional life, and your inner self helped you. Now, there are many situations you went through in personal life. Your inner self has helped you. Now, the point is, analyze itself. Analyze your inner self, because we don't want to lose in the path of despair, hopelessness, because 95% of the people, they lead the same life that what we are leading at the 30s and 40s. It is those 45 years after till you reach 55, that actually that particular age that will change your life. The situation come in such a way that you can't even control that. It will go out of your hand. It's just that you realize that your life has gone out of my hand. Right? Now, you don't want to be like that. For that, you need to analyze yourself. Okay. Now, the first quality that, because as part of analyzing yourself, we're going to talk about 4 simple steps. The first step is, who are you really? I'm repeating, who are you really? Now, close your eyes and ask yourself and start. I am. So close your eyes and ask yourself, who am I? The moment you close your eyes and ask yourself, and your inner self starts telling you, I'm just providing certain examples. Just ask yourself, close your eyes. I'm the student so that I can learn and be relevant. Then again, close your eyes and ask yourself, who am I? I am the problem solver so that I can apply my learning. Again, close your eyes and ask yourself, connect with your inner self and ask, who am I? I am the fighter so that I can contribute to my team's goals or family goals. Again, close your eyes and ask yourself, I'm the observer so that I can learn things with neutral mind. And again, close your eyes and ask yourself, I'm the loving family member so that I can contribute to affection within my family. Again, ask yourself, who are you? Who am I? I am the fun lover so that I can laugh and enjoy the process of life. See, friends, you form these thoughts based on your hopes. Your inner self will tell you these answers based on your hopes, based on your dreams, based on your aspirations, based on your qualities. See, the first step to know who are you, simple thing you need to do is take a pen and paper, ask yourself, who am I? And your beautiful inner self will tell you, I am so and so. Again, ask yourself, I am so and so. So, friends, now you got to ask others, right? Who am I? So, ask your wife, ask your husband, ask your father, mother, son, daughter, friend. So, they'll perceive you through the consistent actions you are reflecting towards them. Now, what happens is they tell something what you are. So, who are you is what your inner self is telling is one side of the coin, and the facts told by your core people are something different. So there is a conflict. This is how you want to be, but this is how you are behaving. So that actually tells you there's a gap to be filled. You want to go back and reflect and act the way you want to see yourself. So the qualities that your inner self told you, the same thing should be perceived by your the stakeholders around you, people around you. So you have to make a step. First is ask yourself, write it what you are, who are you? I am so and so. And then ask your nearby people, who am I? Then they will tell you, write both the things. And then the point is, whatever you have written, those are the things that you actually enjoy. Now you have to make sure that your people around you also perceive them like this. If they're not perceiving, there is a stress, there's an anxiety, there is something else is creeping that is preventing you to behave what you really are. So that means if there's a drastic step in terms of in terms of what you think about yourself and what others perceives you, that means you are way far in the deviation line, right? If there's a minor deviation, you can quickly capture, right? But the point is, this is the first step where you try to understand, who am I, right? The second step, my friend, is how would you describe the people around you? That means, do you say the people are good around me, the people are warm and loving people, or you say, hey, the people are very crazy, they are lazy people, they're opportunistic people, they support only when there is a gain for them, and they're untrustworthy people. So the point is, the way you describe people around you is to know with what kind of people you are associated with, right? I'll tell you a story. A college student, right, keeps complaining about the bad people in his class. Now, the point is that in a 40-member class, there is another person who keeps appreciating the good qualities of the people, probably 3-4 people who that person admires, because this person too, like, who describes the people around him as good, he associates himself with the good people only. In his line of sight or eyesight or time, he doesn't spend time with the other people who doesn't make any value addition to him. So to him, his world is only those 4 or 5 people who are working towards better tomorrow. So when you go and ask the person too, how do you describe your people? Oh, my people, I think my college friends are very good people. They do this kind of thing. I like them because they explore this, they discover this, they are very supporting people, is what the person too will tell. Because he keeps only 5 people in mind. He doesn't care about 35 people. For him, that 5 people are only the people in his line of sight. But the person one keeps another 35 people. Hey, my people are very lazy people, and they're untrustworthy, they're opportunistic people. So the way you describe people around you has a greater influence on how you treat people, how you treat other people in your life, and how you connect with them, with whom you connect with them, right? So how do you describe people around you? How do you describe the situations around you? Because there are two things. If you are with good set of people, then you are on the right path. If you're not with good set of people and you don't describe people in a proper way, then that means there's a time has come to disconnect from here and connect to a good group of people. So there's a saying, you can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. I'm repeating, you can't change the people around you because you can't change them. They won't change just because you are telling, but you can change with whom you can associate, right? Yeah, so this is what it is. So how do you describe people around you? So after this particular session, you're going to write about it, saying that first question is, who am I? And second question is, how do I describe the people around myself, right? The third question is, what is life to you? What is a life to you? See, friends, I wanted to explain one story, right? So in the earlier organization, they used to provide a cab daily basis. So almost morning 1.5 hour, I used to be in cab, and evening 1.5 hour. So at one point in time, there was a conversation with a cab driver. The cab driver was a chef driver in Taj hotels at one point in time, and later the destiny has come to a situation wherein from a head chef driver in Taj hotels to this particular cab, he came to that situation. So he and me, we were talking then, and we were discussing about certain problems. And then the cab driver told, sir, why we suffer when we come across this problem? He said. Then I said, we suffer because it's a pain. Then he says, who are we before this life? Do we know? I said, no. Then he says, we came to this life to go through these experiences because we get mature. Because certain things can't be learned just by telling. We have to go through those situations so that we become mature. So I believe we must have come to this life to experience these experiences so that we become matured and we go somewhere. Because before this life, we don't know who we are, who we were. And after this life, we don't know where we go. So in between this experience is what makes us mature. So we came to this life to go through these experiences. Why worry? Why worry? It is so, for example, if you see the roller coaster, before you take the ticket, you knew there'll be ups and downs. You knew. So then when you're conscious of the fact that it's a roller coaster, there'll be ups, there's a downs, and then when it is up, you feel tense, but then you're conscious that the down will come. When there's a down and the speed is going up, you are conscious that there's a up will come and you'll slow down. So likewise, what do you think about this life by analyzing different characters? So most of the successful people says the life is a positive, healthy, happy people. Okay, it's a full of wonderful experiences, full of ups and downs, but certainly a great adventure overall. So we need to understand what is our perception of life. There are certain people who think the life is certain predicted pattern, right? This is how each phase has to happen. Then they'll get disappointed if those things won't happen, because their elders' life went through predictably, so they also believe that it will go in this way. But when this won't go in that predictable manner for this particular gentleman, then that person will get tense. So I'm not saying something is right, something is wrong. I'm just trying to say we need to understand what the life is all about. What do you think about the life? So the moment you understand what the life is all about, then you basically have a consciousness towards the route, towards the path, towards the experience that we are going through. That's all I'm telling you. When the way you describe the life is actually helps you be conscious of the situations we are going through. Like I said, the roller coaster, you are on the up, you will be slow, and then there'll be down, there'll be heavy speed will be there, again up, there is down, and then there'll be certain up, certain downs where the speed will be terrific, and there'll be certain caves you go through. So these are all, when you go through, you will tell, you feel tense, you shout, you scream, but you're conscious at the behind the scene that a time will come, then this I will stop. In the process, I'll up and down, and I got into this particular roller coaster knowingly to go through these ups and downs. So likewise, also have certain good perception about this life, right? And that will actually make you be conscious of the journey that we are going through. And the fourth question is, what is my biggest goal in life is? See, friends, it's not about talking about 100 goals. Talk about 2 or 3 goals. Believe me, my friends, when we die, if people talk 2 things about us, that itself we are successful. Okay. So people talk about us by the actions we repeatedly do. If we do repeatedly the noble actions, right, then they believe us as noble things. At least 2 qualities, if they describe us in a good way, that itself is sufficient. Then my question is, when 2 qualities is sufficient to describe us after this life, then why not we work for fewer goals instead of going for multiple things, right? So what is my biggest goal in my career is, my biggest goal in my family is, write it down, one goal, and work for it. Because the Napoleon Hill observed that life only begins to become great, right? Life begins to become great when we decide clearly, the word clearly, on the most important goals in life. Okay, so the question is, what are your most important goals? See, friends, I'm telling you, maybe you are fortunate that you have clarity in your life, but at least 90 to 95% of the people have come through, they are being driven by these situations. So if you go and ask them what is your goal in life, probably they would have clearly told in their student life. But the moment they are in 30s or 35s and 40, I don't know where I'm going. I'm just going, I'm part of the flow. So such kind of situations will be there. So in that situation, we need to understand what is my biggest goal in life, right? So start with the end in mind, right? So to identify the goals, right? Those 2 clearly goals, like the biggest goals in career and family. Now start with end in mind, like what is the result, outcome, or accomplishment that you want, or you are striving to achieve. Where do you want to end up at the end of the day, right? And what is your mission? What difference you want to make to the lives of people around you? See, friends, I'm telling you, we earn, and you may get more salary than me, and I may get more salary compared to others. At the end of the day, even the Apple founder Steve Jobs told, it is not the money that I earned that is coming to my mind at this point in time. It is those gentle gestures, support, affection. I was part of it. The human experiences, that is what is coming to my mind at this point in time. So friends, I'm telling you today, we really need to work to set, our goals should be such that, we should be working towards making other goals, others. So we should make certain things to make sure that, the people around us, that can be your family members, right? They should be happy with your contributions. So to be truly happy and fulfilled, you must be working towards accomplishing something that is bigger than yourself. And that makes a difference in life or work of others. So you can be as working as close as your family members, or a certain limited circle or a bigger circle. When our goals are defined in such a way that they help to uplift the people around us, that is where you'll be feeling very happy. I'll tell you one good thing. For example, let's assume that you go to a big hotel, you go and have a meal by spending 1,000 rupees, right? And you won't feel happy, right, alone. The same thing if you go for a tea, right, for a tea along with friends, and start talking and enjoying, you really feel happy. So the point is, when we work to uplift the people around us, certain sector of people, the people whom we admire, the people whom we care for, then you actually get a truly happiness. So when you are clear about what you're trying to do, you must ask yourself, okay, I'm clear about my goals. These are the two big goals I'm working for. How am I trying to do it? How is it going? So what is the how I am trying to do means, what are the methods I'm following, right? What is the methodology I'm following it up? Okay, this is the methodology I wanted to, or this is the path I wanted to adopt to make myself to reach that goal. Then the next question is, once you're clear about the path, how is it going? Is it going proper? Okay. And then, am I constantly questioning my assumptions in this process? See, friends, I'm telling you today, the biggest failure in our life comes because of our assumptions, right? Those assumptions are, consciously you take certain assumptions, subconsciously some unquestioned assumptions you'll be making, and because of those assumptions, you'll be paying a lot of price. So you have to constantly question the assumptions you make in this process. So the point number one is, how am I trying to do it? How is it going? And am I questioning my assumptions time to time in the process? And finally, could there be a better way? See, friends, I'm telling you, you always need to find a better way, right? Something has worked for somebody. Yes, you can take learning, but always you need to explore better ways, because you will enjoy in the path and the process of discovery. So what we're telling is, you got to be very clear about goals, and you need to have a mechanism or process that you go through, so that you are achieving those things. And you should ask yourself, saying that, how is it going? Am I going at an expected pace, or lesser pace, or more pace? And what are the assumptions I am not validating? Because there are certain subconscious assumptions I'm not validating, right? There are certain conscious assumptions you have to take through, because without assuming those things, you can't proceed, right? So am I questioning those things from time to time? And because in these assumptions only, there'll be risks and failures as well. And then, am I on the better path, fastest path, more productive path? Am I following the better path, so that I can invent a better tomorrow? So this is what you have to keep on asking with slow thinking. Friends, I'm using the word slow because, friends, you can take fast thinking for purchasing some transactional items. For example, for transaction, like you have to purchase a newspaper. You don't need to think much. You have to purchase some vegetables. You don't need to think much. But certain decisions, you have to think slowly. You have to process. See, our friends, I'm telling you, there are people who takes certain strategic decisions very fast in their life, and they go through a lot of problems. I have personally gone through, for example, while recruiting certain strategic positions, I took fast decisions, and I paid the price, right? So it's not easy. You can always allow somebody to enter, and then it's not easy to go through a wrong selection, right? So what I'm conveying here is, certain decisions you have to think slow. That means you have to process those thoughts, sleep with those thoughts, and so that today it may look very good, the decision may look very good. Maybe 2 days down the line, you come across certain symptoms, saying that, why that person talked like this in this interview? Does it mean he has certain offers? Why he asked this question like this? Because, see, friends, I'm telling you, today in life, we are unfolding light in ambiguity. We are unfolding light in a deep darkness, right? So even though technology is there, everything is there, when it comes to our own life, our own career, our own family, it's a deep darkness. So with a candle we are going through. So you have to depend on yourself or your close people. So certain decisions have to be thought through, slept through, processed through, and slowly you have to think about it. And especially when you are thinking about your own goals, you have to be very clear with slow thinking, and you have to think about how am I trying to do that. You have to step back and think about it. How is it going? Am I constantly questioning my assumptions or not? Am I unfolding clearer path or not? So friends, the four steps that we talked here, right? I'm trying to put it in a pictorial way. The first thing is, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? The next question is, what are my biggest goals in my life? Then third thing is, am I identifying the right path? It depends upon the question, what is life to me? Right? If you are a very systematic or a very traditional person, probably you wanted to identify longest route with the very safe path. Or if you are of opinion that you're a risk taker, probably you wanted to unfold the shortest paths. It all depends upon, because see, at the end of the day, there is no clearer path to destination. Right? At the end of the day, the process of journey is what makes you feel happy, not the destination. Right? So in the process, you have to associate with the right set of people. So which set of people you associate with? So do you trust them? Do you like them? So when you are associated with the right people, when you are clear about who am I, when you're clear about what are your biggest goals in your life, and then when you're clear about the path by understanding the life it means to you, then you're the process of analyzing yourself constantly. So as part of this particular session, I said we'll go through four steps. The four steps are unfolding who am I. This has a function of your values, core values, right? And then the second step is with what set of people I associate with, and then what life is means to me, so that I can decide the right path, and then what are my biggest goals in life, right? So am I going in the right path? Am I going in the expected pace? Am I unfolding the proper path? Right? These four steps will constantly, if you keep thinking about it constantly with slow thinking process, you will actually realize slowly what you are. So friends, I'm telling you, life is every day, it provides you a crossroads, right? So you go through like this, right? So you can take the path towards this, you can take left path, you can take a path like this, and then again go like this, you can go like this and this. So the point is, if you take one path, then again coming back to original destination, most of the times in life it won't happen. So that's why when this kind of crossroads happens, if it is transactional things, you can, like, for example, you're driving on a two-wheeler or a car, you can take a quick turn and you can come back. But there are certain decisions, like big decisions in your life that actually change the direction of your life. It is very difficult to come back. So that's why adopt slow thinking process by having clarity on who am I, what are my core values, with what sort of people I associated with, what are my goals in life, and what life means to me. So when you constantly churn through those questions with slow thinking process, there is a high probability that you will be unfolding the path towards happiness. See friends, now the whole purpose of this session is find a meaning and purpose of your life through having clear thought process on your values, validate your objectives, and time to time validate where is my life going. With this, I want to tell you friends, life is beautiful thing, right? And unfold it through a constant slow thinking process, having absolute clarity on four simple steps. Who am I? What are my objectives? And am I associated with the right set of people? And am I adopting the right path by having proper view on the life? With this, I come to the end of the session, and I thank your interest to learn, and I look forward to having you in my future sessions.